I swear to God, this camera hates me. This is like the 10th time I've tried to set it up. Okay, hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Sorry, I'm just laughing because I've been trying to set up my camera for the past 10 minutes and it just kept falling over and the stand broke. I fixed it, it's stable, we're fine. Okay, so I'm glad I've got a few people chatting to me in the comments now. I'm really happy that people are enjoying the video and yeah, and saying that I'm happy and like it's energizing to watch me and stuff like that, which is quite good because I don't have any energy. I use it all to make videos at the moment. But yeah, today I wanted to talk a little bit about why I became a writer and why I like writing so much. And basically it's different for everybody, it's different for every writer, but I started when I was probably 11 years old, 10 years old. I used to write lots in A4 pads of paper, just A4 pad of paper, just flipping the pages over. I used to write with a purple glitter pen, which I probably still have somewhere. I just started writing fan fiction. I used to love Lord of the Rings and I used to love gemstones, so I basically created Steven Universe without creating Steven Universe, if that makes any sense. I made characters, I made myself, I made my sister, gave us all these cool gem names, and I was Amethyst, my sister was Sapphire, I remember no, she was Diamond. Was she Sapphire, Diamond? Diamond, I think. But it was so fun because I'd give everyone a different name and I'd have, like, I was married to Legolas, which is apparently a thing that I was into, and okay, Orlando Bloom is hot, but yeah, Legolas is a bit too much for me now, but back then I was obsessed. So was my sister, and she loved Aragorn, so I married her in the book, married her to him in the book, so yeah, but I used to write it and then get new ideas, so I'd come back to it and make an extended version. I took a leaf out of Peter Jackson's book and gave it an extended version, then an extended version, and stuff like that. So that's how I used to write. I still have them. I can't remember what I called them, but I will get them out and show you because it is hilarious. But once I've shown you a bit of my current work, you can really see the comparison between the two. It's quite dramatic, but I still have those. I used to write stories all the time in class. In English we used to write a lot whenever we did like stories or we had to make something up. I was so excited because I loved making stuff up. I really loved it, and I just went to town on these stories and didn't want to stop writing when the teacher said, okay, put your pens down. I was still there scribbling away, and yeah, basically that's how I started writing. And I never really thought about it as a career because you sort of grow up and you think you need to get like a real job and go out there and earn money, and obviously with writing you don't earn money straight away. And I was quite slow in school, like when we were all deciding what we wanted to do, I chose to do photography, art and performing arts for my A-levels, which is probably not the best thing to do, but I enjoyed it, all of it. There was a few moments in art when I thought I couldn't do it, but I used to draw a lot, and it was so sad to see those skills sort of go to waste, if that makes any sense. I don't draw anymore, I don't paint anymore. I painted something about a year or two ago, and that was the first time I'd painted in probably like 10 years, which is so sad because I used to do it all the time and I got really good at it. And it's the same with writing. I stopped writing as well because it was not a real job or a real hobby. So it was just so sad to see all that sort of go down the drain. I did performing arts and I was acting. I started singing. I didn't do dance. I didn't really like dance because I was quite self-conscious, and I still am. So I'm sort of not a dancer, but I like to sing. I still sing. I actually got back into it. I've been using the app Smule, so it's SMULE, which is great because you get to record your songs and let other people join you singing. and it's rekindled that love for singing. So that's one thing I've got started, and I've obviously started my writing properly. I've got my own book, which is in its first draft, which is amazing, but I just feel like I should have done it so many years ago, but I didn't realise just how easy it could be. And I was in and out of jobs. I hated it. I'm very socially anxious. I'm anxious in general, and suffered from mental health issues, and just basically just struggled to meet people every day and talk to people. And ironically, that's what I'm doing now, but because I'm not talking directly to people, it's a lot easier for me. So I'm talking to people, but not directly, so I can talk and I can look back over this footage, and if I hate it, I can get rid of it and no one has to see it. So it's great. It's a great way for me to express myself. And with writing, I was writing down. I wasn't talking to people. And I'd make my own characters and write myself as a person who I wanted to be. I'd write myself as strong, brave, and all that sort of stuff. And you sort of live your own life within your writing, and it was amazing. So that's why I started, and I haven't really stopped since. I had a tiny green, like A4 notebook when I was little. Not A4, about A5 or even smaller, probably about this big. So it was tiny, like a medicine box, about this big. And it had like a little class one in it. And I wrote a Harry Potter fan fiction. It was awful, and I mean awful, as the worst thing you could possibly imagine is worse than that. It was awful, it was gross, it was just like, I don't know what it is with fan fiction, but I was writing it and I filled this much of paper from that little notebook with that one story, and I kept doing it, and I'd get other ideas and write them down, but I could never finish anything. I never finished anything, and I would just keep adding to it and adding to it, and it would go on forever, and it would just be quite interesting to see just how much I could write without stopping. I wrote every day. I would not put that book down. I'd go have dinner, go back upstairs in my bedroom and sit down and start writing it again. So whatever interests I had at the time would be put into a notebook. I started fan fiction for Whose Line Is It Anyway? My stuff is still out there, which is not great, and it was always homoerotic for some reason, because for some reason I was good at writing that, and I would get comments saying, oh, this is amazing, this is great, and stuff like that. And yeah, it was back in the day, but it's not great anymore. I've got better since then, and it's amazing because there's so many people out there that read your stuff without you realising it. And I would get so many comments saying how good my work was, and I just couldn't believe how easy it was to write, put it out there and let other people read it. It's just getting that confidence to do it, just to post and see what happens, because you don't know. And then I thought, if I want to do this properly, I should be studying it. And we didn't have like a writing course at my school or my high school. It was just English, and I always struggled with literature. I'd stopped reading. I used to read every day. I used to go through books within a matter of hours, and but now I barely pick one up and keep reading it. I usually put it down and then never see it again, which is such a shame. But I'm getting better, because obviously now I'm at university, as you probably know. I'm doing a creative writing course in university, and when everyone was deciding which university they were going to, like 5 years ago, I still didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I thought I should be out there working, doing a real job and stuff like that, but I just couldn't do it. It's just not something that I can do. For the money, yeah, it was great, and if I found something I was relatively good at but didn't enjoy, I wouldn't do that job to the best of my ability. And yeah, it just doesn't go well for me. Just normal jobs don't go well for me. So, but now I've got the confidence again. I met my husband 5 years ago in June, and he basically built up my confidence, because I was lonely, I didn't have any friends. I had my sister, and I had a few like select friends that I didn't really talk to anymore, just because I would just seclude myself away from people, because I wasn't doing what everyone else was doing. I wasn't out there working like everyone else. So I just thought, what do I do? So I'm just lonely. But yeah, I met my husband while I was working as a lingerie fitter. I used to fit lingerie, specialist lingerie. I do have a certificate in that. So yeah, I used to fit all types of lingerie for people, specialist stuff, specialist sizes, mastectomy bras for cancer patients and that sort of thing. Just basically be a friend to people when they really needed it. And I loved meeting people. It was just people that I just found the whole job stressful, just so stressful and tiring. I lost so much weight. I lost so much weight that I was getting sick, and that's not good. I've always wanted to lose weight, but not that way. But yeah, I met Alan, and that job ended up ending really badly, and I went through a really stressful time, and and then he asked me what I wanted to do with my life, and I just said, I don't know. I was like, I don't know, and I remember crying because I was just like, I'm good at a few things, not great at loads of things. There's a few things that I can't do, yeah, and he just said, what do you enjoy doing? I was like, well, I kind of like writing, and by this point I wasn't writing like proper things. I was writing a bit of fan fiction here and there, but nothing much, so I didn't think it would go well for me. And then he got a job at the university where we live now, and we moved down here, so moved 2 hours away from my home, so complete new change of scenery, and just happened to be looking at the universities. My husband Alan works at a university, and there's one nearby which is across the road from his. Just happened to be looking at their page, and he said they have a creative writing course, and it's brand new, so this is the first year it'll ever have run. So I thought, wow, okay. So I applied, and because obviously it's been quite a few years, I'm a lot older, so I'm not 18 going into university, I'm 27 now, and I started last year. So yeah, so I started when I was 26. When I was just 25, I started university, thinking, oh my god, I'm so old, I feel old, I don't want to be around 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and but the majority of my course is over 20, which is insane. Like, I think the oldest person in my group is 30, 31, and I just thought, wow, I'm not the oldest, and I've met so many friends, I've learned so much about writing, and in a year and a half, a year and a bit roughly, I've got a first draft of a book, a first outline of another book that I started. I have so many ideas and techniques under my belt to help me write, and I will share some of these with you at some point, but I can literally sit down and come up with a book idea in minutes. Minutes is the quickest, I think, but in a day I can get ideas, characters, and a basic plot sorted. I can literally pump out a book straight away, and I wrote my first draft in a month, in 29 days, for National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo. Every year, November 1st, you start writing, and you aim to get 50,000 words in a month before the end of November. So November 30th is your time up. December 1st, midnight, is your time limit. But the first year I started at uni, I was writing, I was doing little bits and bobs, and I thought, I'm going to try NaNoWriMo, I'm going to do it, I'm going to try and do it. So me and a few other friends started it, every day, 1,600 words, every day. But for the first novel, I planned too much, and it wasn't like evolving, it was just really bland and boring. But I did it. I wrote 50,000 words in 30 days, and then this past year, November 2018, I did NaNoWriMo again, and I had a new idea that I wasn't planning ahead for, I just wrote. So I wrote 10 chapters of a book. I finished the book this time. I finished it on the 29th of November, so a little bit earlier, but I finished it. I finished an actual story and rounded it off for the first time in my life, I actually finished something and knew how it would end, and actually gave it an ending. I gave it a title, I made a book cover for it and everything, and I wrote about 1,700 words a day for 30 days, well 29 days if you're being picky, but for a whole month, and working on an assignment at the same time. So I was doing so much that I was borderline too much because I was exhausted. But I did it. I have a first draft now, and my lovely adoring husband got me a hardback copy of my draft printed for Christmas. So obviously you've seen that in previous videos, but you've seen that it can become a physical book, and seeing it in a physical form was just so amazing, and it's so motivating to see it become what it has. And you know, you can do it. It's not like writing a book and getting it published seems like such a big journey. Well, it is, but if you think like writing a really rough first draft in a month, and then spending maybe a year to go over it and edit it and get it to the best possible condition it can be, and then going out there and finding a literary agent, already having a manuscript that you can send them, you have more chance than anybody to write a book and get it out there and published. So now I'm actually achieving those goals. I feel like I'm an actual writer now. And I write blogs. I do have my blog posts, which I have been neglecting since I lost my computer, but it is possible to do it. So if you want to follow me on my writing journey, you can. And this video has gone on way longer than I expected, but you can do it. It is possible. And as long as you keep enjoying what you do, you don't work a day in your life. That's basically what it is. And it's true, people say that, oh, anyone can write a book. Yeah, you can. But people say it in a way that is like, oh, I'll write a book tomorrow and get it published, done. It's not like that. It's never like that, unless you are really, really lucky. But it can be done. If you want to do it, do it. So, yeah, just put yourself aside for a bit and ask what you really want to do. Even if it's not writing, if you want to paint, just like spend a bit of money, get some painting supplies and just go for it. Make a mess and just have fun. Like, obviously everyone has access to a phone nowadays or a laptop. You can write on your phone, or even write on paper like I started with. I used to write on, I don't know if I have one to show you, but you know the A4 refill pads, the one with the holes in that you can put in a folder, in a ring binder. That's what I had, and I would literally write A4 pages a day. And it was crap. It was absolutely crap. And then once we got a computer, because I'm old enough to remember getting our first computer, which was like way too big to fit into this camera frame. I remember typing in a specific font, and I think it was monotype Corsiva, I believe I used all the time, and I'd write like in pink and wonder why the hell I'd never edit anything. I'd write in bright pink and just write in bright pink and flowy writing that you can barely read, but I was enjoying myself, and I figured out how to use Word, and I was basically learning how to introduce Word and Office and stuff when I was in primary school. So yeah, so we learned how to cut and paste, and we learned how to write and stuff like that, and I found out you could change the font colours to anything, so I changed each individual letter of the title to be multicoloured rainbows, and it was great. And I learned how to add in pictures, and I would manipulate these pictures and change them, basically proper word arting it. And people don't realise I really miss word art, and not many people know about it these days because you have Photoshop and you have other things. But then I got good at Photoshop, and then I found my friend Rachel showed me a website called Canva, which I'm not sponsored by the way, to set out a profile of a book cover. You can make book covers, and I've been making Instagram posts promoting my new characters and stuff like that, and it makes it so fun. So I will do a video on Canva at some point, but if you want to follow me along with my journey and you want some writing tips, let me know in the comments. And if you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook. I'm Rebecca Louise Fox Author. So type me into Google and into Facebook and you can find me. I'm on Twitter, which I'll leave down in the description. I'm on Instagram, which I'll leave down in the description as well. And I will also leave my blog link for you to follow. So if you want to follow me and learn more about writing or write along with me, join me for NaNoWriMo this year, which should be completely interesting because I have no ideas for it. So if you want to write with me, just come along with me for a few days or follow me for a few videos. And if you want to write, then always find someone that will write with you, and always have a friend to bounce ideas off and get yourself pumped for your work, because writing can be quite lonely. And if you've got people that are really interested in what you do, like family members, tell them what you're doing, tell them what characters you're killing off next. And like, I used to cry when I used to write sad scenes, and my husband would be like, do you want a cup of tea? And I'd be like, yes please, someone just died. And he'd be like, okay, I'll make you tea. So find people that really, really, really enjoy what you do. And if you enjoy what you do, as I said, you'll never work a day in your life. So thank you for joining me. All the links are in the description below. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along with my writing journey. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!